USA. Leah, thank you for hitting the recording button because I said I was going to do it and I didn't. So we have 244 companies and our members are made up of events, brands, registration partners, and vendors. We're really excited to see that as the running industry as a whole, and I'm sure many of you have noticed this in your individual events, comes back. We've seen a membership growth of 20% from 2022 to 2023. And as I mentioned, that number keeps growing as we enter 2024. Our members are placed throughout the country. You can see the states where we have memberships and some states where we have to do a little work and some legwork on the ground. Nancy, our membership manager, is working on that. And those stars are our foundation partners, our highest tier memberships, those who offer the most support and get the most support back from the organization. We want to give a special thanks to our foundation members today as we get into this. You can see them all listed there. Many of the groups that you are familiar with, partners, longtime partners of Running USA. Before I go into what we've been up to and what we're off to do next, I want to toss it over to our president of our board of directors, Kathleen Titus, to talk about board nominations. Kathleen?
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. Great overview there. So we are coming up and have our board nominations open. And for those of you that were at conference this year, we talked about having the most diverse board that we've ever had. This year, we currently have 3 seats that are open and available for us to take on new board members. With that, again, we strive for that diversity. We're also looking for board experience. So we're looking for people that might have a background in different brands, different boards, different capacities, roles, responsibilities. I will say that this is a working board. So if you're great at rolling your sleeves up, getting your hands dirty, it's a small staff that Jay has there with Nancy, Leah, and Michael. So we are an extension and an arm to supporting what they do. So again, this is a working board here, but we do have applications open. You can go to the website. There's been some emails out there pushing that out. We're taking applications till about mid-month, and then we'll start to do an interview process with that. So if it's something you're interested in, you have until May 15th to submit your application. We will go through a review process. We'll start interviewing people, and then we'll have voting in early June, which means everybody that we have vetted through will go on to the slate for your nominations, and then will be announced in July, in which we will have our first board meeting in August with that group. So we do have 2 in-person board meetings. Usually one's always at conference just before conference. One is held in the summer months, and then 2, our first quarter and our third quarter are always held virtual. So again, looking to expand those. We have 3 open seats. If you are interested, please do reach out to us, apply. You have any questions, you can reach out to me directly. I am on there. You can reach out to Jay, any of the team members there. I'd love to hear from you, but are excited to see our board grow and expand and become more robust, and looking at ways to help Jay and team. So thank you. And again, look forward to greeting some new board members come the August meeting. Jay?
Thanks, Kathleen. That August meeting will be in Louisville, Kentucky, the site of our next Running USA Industry Conference presented by Haku. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a few minutes. In the chat, Leah will be dropping links to some of the things we mentioned today. So if you are interested or know someone who might be interested in applying for our board of directors positions, you can find that link in the chat. We also put it in our newsletters. The next one comes out tomorrow. You'll have that in your email. Kathleen mentioned our staff, and we are a small but mighty team. I didn't introduce myself off the top, but I'm Jay Holder, the Executive Director of Running USA. Our team is made up of Nancy Brandon, our Director of Membership and Sponsorship, who is on this call, Michael Clemens, our Director of Operations, also on the call, and Leah Etling, our Director of Marketing and Communications. We are your team at Running USA and always available to take questions, comments, concerns, feedback. Our emails are just our first names at runningusa.org. The big thing we're working on, we're a new team. Many of you probably have known and worked with Leah and members of our board. Michael, Nancy, and I relatively new. I started in November. Michael started about a week after I did, and Nancy came on board early this year. So what better time to kick off our next strategic plan? It's been about 4 years since Running USA has done a strategic plan, and since then a lot has changed in the world and in the running industry. So this strategic plan will be staff-driven and is underway currently with the focus on continuing education, resources and benefits, research and data, and membership expansion. our timeline here on the screen. We started in February of this year at our board meeting in Orlando, selected a committee of board members. But as I mentioned, this will be a staff-led strategic plan that will be supported by the board. It's a little bit of a change of how we've done things in the past, where the board has undertaken the strategic plan with the staff support. We felt like, since we are the team executing most of the things that will come out of this, that we should take the lead. And we're very grateful for the support of, as Kathleen mentioned, our working board, our very hardworking board. We're currently in the process of identifying focus groups. We have hired an outside moderator to moderate those focus groups, and some of you have expressed interest in being a part of the focus groups. And for others, we are soliciting your interest. Nancy is taking the lead on that. If you are interested in being part of a focus group on a number of topics, we have small group focus groups, large event focus groups, nonprofit focus groups, and non-member focus groups, as well as vendor focus groups. Please email nancy@runningusa.org. We will work on this process throughout the summer, taking the output we get from the focus groups with a goal of presenting this strategic plan outline for our board for discussion and implementation at the August board meeting in Louisville. So an aggressive timeline, but one that we felt really was important to get underway and kick off as soon as we could. So that process is happening now. Not only is it happening, but simultaneously, we are starting to implement things that fall into the categories I mentioned off the top. The first is data and research. You may have read this in our newsletter or on our website, but we have entered a partnership with Athlinks. Athlinks is, of course, the arm of Results, owned by Lifetime Fitness and Chronotrack, our friends in the event timing industry. What this partnership gives us is access to nearly 300 million race results since the 1970s, and allows us to break down those results in a number of ways. It gives us a real picture as to what's happening in the industry across different event sizes, across different geographies in the US, and across different demographics. So we have just recently gotten our hands on this information and this data, and we're starting to dive into it now. We're going to be having a webinar on May 16th to talk more about it and its benefits to the membership. But our plan is, and our goal is, to make this data that you can use to make better business and marketing decisions across the board. Some of the fields that we're able to look at are date range and year-to-year comparisons, our finisher number and finisher time range, geographic location or regions, gender, age, finishing times, as I mentioned, and comparisons across event categories. This, of course, is something that we're going to utilize, but we hope it's something you utilize as well. Running USA plans to put out up to 6 reports throughout the year, with our first being released this June at the Race Management Program in Chicago. Our foundation members and contributing members will have access to free reporting, and then there will be a price-tiered structure for multiple events, single event, non-member, and vendor members. Of course, we want to be able to provide this information to the media as well, so we'll have a process for that. But all of this will be laid out in detail in our next webinar, which is May 16th. I just wanted to give an overview to those of you who are on our town hall today. The education piece also well underway. We have kicked off a series of monthly webinars. Many of you joined our last one, which was our Celebrating Earth Day, moderated by Tina Muir, who's a member of our board and does sustainability work for many of the events that are here on this call and part of our membership. This is going to be a monthly thing that we host, free and exclusive to our members, looking for topics that really are important to the industry right now. So the research data piece will be our May webinar. We have webinars planned on diversity and inclusion, on adaptive athletes, and many others throughout the rest of the year. Each month, if you have an idea for a topic or would like to host a topic, please make sure to email Leah or Michael or Nancy or myself, and we're happy to have a conversation about that. And then all of those webinars, if you can't make it, will be posted on our website. You can watch this webinar as well as our insurance webinar right now on our content page. Speaking of our content page, we've really sort of doubled down on our ability to do industry-leading content and content that's relevant to the running space. All of that exclusive to members. These are just a sampling of some of the content we've posted over the last couple of weeks. We're trying to post on a much more frequent basis. We've also entered a partnership with the Race Results Weekly, David and Jane Monty, who many of you know, to post all of their content as it comes in from the Race Results Weekly wire. industry receptions, thank you to those of you who came out to our reception in Boston and our partners, RRCA, Marathon Photo, and UBO. We want to do more things like this, bringing the industry together, allowing people to network, and providing just a good time during a busy work week. So look for more of these industry receptions as we get into the race calendar, especially in the fall. And my computer went crazy. There we go. Before I get into the 2025 conference, I want to address the 2024 conference and just look at some statistics. Our peak number was in 2020, right before the pandemic, really right before the pandemic, where we had 791 attendees come to our conference in Las Vegas. That was coupled with the Timers Conference, so that number unusually high for us. But if you see the years since 2021, our conference has continued to grow, with our highest number since 2020 being this year, where we had 555 attendees at Disney World in Orlando. 61% of those attendees were male, 39% female. So we're going to work on balancing out that number. We had 18 countries represented, 86% from the US, 36 states, and the number I think we're most proud of, 34% first-time attendees who came to our conference this year. And we hope to see them again in 2025. If you hadn't heard, our industry conference will be February 2nd through 4th in Louisville, Kentucky. As at the Galt House, the legendary Galt House in downtown Louisville. Big week in Louisville this week. Of course, it's Derby week now, but this is the second biggest weekend, I'm told, that will happen in Louisville all year. Registration is open currently at the lowest price. You can find that on our website, and the link will be in the chat. We also have sponsorship opportunities as well as speaker opportunities. Just a couple of details that we know already on the conference. We have identified our keynote speaker. It's Tori Murden McClure. She's the first woman and first American to row solo across the Atlantic Ocean, and also the first woman and first American to ski to the geographic South Pole, and the first woman to climb Lewis Nunatak in Antarctica. I had to look up what a nunatak is, and it's essentially just a big cliff. But she's a groundbreaker in many ways. She's now the president of Spalding University. She has a number of her presentations are online. Check her out. She's going to be a really exciting speaker. We're excited to meet her in February. One of the things that we are working to expand at our conference is our Emerging Leaders Program, formerly known as our scholarship. We had 6 emerging leaders attend last year. Those are conference attendances, hotel accommodations, and travel, all funded by Running USA and its sponsors. We have great partners in our board and with our friends at Run Sign Up who sponsor, make this possible, but we are working hard to grow this program in coming years so we can bring new leaders and fresh faces in the running industry to our conference to talk about what they're doing and educate us on the ways that they are changing the running industry. So we hope to see that program grow at our 2025 conference and beyond with the support of new partners. As I mentioned, sponsorship opportunities, registration details, and speaker applications, they're at the link there. Obviously, you can't click it, so it's in the chat. We hope to see you at our conference. And if you have any suggestions or feedback that you haven't sent us yet on 2024 that we can implement in 2025, please feel free to do so. Something else we're excited about is a new partnership with our global alliance partners. So Running USA, very focused on supporting the running industry in the US and Canada. And we want to work with organizations that are doing similar work overseas so we can share resources, share best practices, and offer more to our members. So we've partnered with the Running Industry Alliance, which is based in the UK, and European Athletics to have essentially membership reciprocity. So you'll be able to attend their conferences at a reduced rate, and they'll be able to attend ours at a reduced rate, but we'll also share the webinars, the articles, the journals, the studies that we all do with each other, so we can help collectively grow the global running industry. We've also renewed our partnership with USA Track and Field. So Running USA has long had a partnership with USATF. USATF is a foundation member, but over the past couple of years, that partnership has not really flourished, and we're excited to work with Max, Renee, and Amy, and the whole team at USATF to bring that partnership back to life. As a result, we have filled our 10 delegate positions with our board and our staff at the USATF annual meeting, so we can vote on issues that greatly impact the road running industry and all of the events of people on this call. And we've also taken our committee seats on the following committees: men's LDR, women's LDR, masters LDR, men's track and field, women's track and field, race walking, youth, and general competition. This will allow Running USA to have a voice and be part of the decision-making process with our governing body as it makes decisions, especially about the events that we hold as an organization. If you have things that you'd like us to bring to USATF, we want to be your voice on these committees and at the annual meeting. So please let us know. And as issues come up that we are voting on or taking a part in, we'll of course share them with the membership so we can get your feedback before we travel to Orlando in December to vote in on the USATF in the USATF meeting. A reminder of the member benefits that everyone has as a member of Running USA. The first is a discounted rate to event insurance. Included in that is event cancellation insurance, something I strongly recommend everyone look into if you don't already have it. Leah just recently did a great talk with our friends at Twin Cities in Motion about having to cancel an event and what all went into that. Having event cancellation insurance, something you definitely want to have as we experience climate change and many other things that are impediments to our events. So check out that on our website. Music licensing, many of you take advantage of our music licensing through the 3 big music licensing agencies, but we offer a discounted rate on that. All of this under the membership portal on our website. We do put out your press releases and push them out to the running industry on social media and in our newsletter. So keep those coming to us. Job postings, we want to be sort of the gathering place for the national running industry on where to find jobs. Discounted data, as I talked about earlier in this webinar, you'll have access to the new data that we're gathering at the best possible rate we can offer, as well as our content library and our conference. One thing that we've recently launched is a sizzle reel library on our YouTube page, and we'll be featuring many of the sizzle reels of events in our industry. So if you have a sizzle reel, email it to nancy@runningusa.org. We're putting all that together. And then we also have a discount on Constant Contact for those of you who use that for email marketing. I want to talk about a couple of upcoming initiatives that we have that we're working on beyond the Athlinks project and beyond our partnerships with USATF and the RIA. We are working to provide CPR certification to our members. So that's something that will come later this year. So look for more details on that. We're also working to build a public-facing race calendar. This will be on our website and will allow people to browse all of the races that are part of our database. It's a member benefit. Not only will it have the link to your registration, we'll also have a link to your results, your marathon photo, and any other page that might be associated with your registration platform. We're also working on a contractor database. We know that often race organizers, especially those with small staffs, are looking for people to fill very important and specific roles at their races, whether it be a media role, a finish line role, a start line role, or any sort of role behind the scenes. We know there are a number of people in the running industry that are available to do this kind of work, but sometimes it's not easy to find them. So we're going to gather that all together in the next couple of months and have a contractor database available for event organizers to utilize when they're looking for help on race weekend or at other times. We're also working to bring back role-focused discussion groups and working with our membership to understand the best way to do that and the best platform to do that on. This is where people in different parts of the industry, different job roles, can get together and talk about best practices and have an ongoing dialogue on what's happening in their specific part of the industry, and reach out for feedback, advice, and help on different topics. So that's coming. That's an initiative we're working on for the fall as well. I promised 20 to 25 minutes. We're at 22 minutes of our town hall. That's a sort of an overview of what we're working on and what we have coming up. And now I want to open the floor for any questions. You can either put them in the chat or you can raise your hand and we'll call on you. Yeah, would love to take any questions or hear any comments about your feedback. And a reminder that all the links I talked about are in the meeting chat right now. That's the conference registration, sponsorship opportunities, and the board application, most importantly. And I don't think we're going to have any questions.
You covered it all.
Covered it all. I'm not seeing any. Leah, are you seeing any questions?
I'm not.
Excellent. Well, in that case, we will we'll wrap up. But thanks for giving us the time to explain what we're working on. Again, feedback is what makes us better here. If there's any ideas that you'd like to see done, if there's any way we can provide more value to you for your membership, please don't hesitate to reach out. As I said, we are a new and re-energized team here. We want to make sure that Running USA is valuable throughout the year. And we'll need your help to make sure that we understand what that is that'll will benefit you most. So I'm Jay at runningusa.org. And the rest of our team is their first name at runningusa.org. Our board can be found on our website. You can reach out to them as well. Until our next webinar, which is May 16th, the details are in the chat. Thanks everybody for joining, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks, everyone.